going out there and accusing the other side and accusing unions of voter suppression.
I have an issue because why can't we allow Bill Clinton, like we allow every other spouse, to be a spouse? Sure, he's the former president. Sure, he's got great political skills. But this is his wife. They have been through all kinds of stuff. Why can't he be emotional? Why can't he fight for her?
Why does everybody keep talking about poor Hillary Clinton, about the wife, about, oh, she's vulnerable? We heard vulnerable this morning. What female spouse has gone out and played attack dog for her male candidate husband? Name her.
And Joe, but what candidate has been through the ringer the way Hillary Clinton has been through the ringer? I'm not talking about Democrats. I'm talking about what the Republicans have done to Hillary Clinton in the last 15 years. There is resentment there that Bill Clinton has earned. He is allowed to express his resentment over what has been done to his wife, and I have no problem with that.
Okay, so let us please, because I think this will be great for the United States of America, let us continue fighting the wars of the 1990s. Let us continue fighting the wars of the 1960s.
Is your party going to back down? Is your party going to surrender those wars? Because if they do, then fine, we can stop fighting.
It's funny that you say, is my party, David, because you have sat here and heard me go after my party as well as I go after the Democratic Party. If my party goes around attacking, let me tell you this, if George W. Bush, when he is retired, goes around trashing Democrats, if George Bush Sr. went around trashing Bill Clinton, I would be saying the same thing about him. Listen, the bottom line is this, David, and I've said this consistently. I am attracted to Barack Obama's message, even though ideologically I don't support a lot of things he supports, because Barack Obama is the first candidate that is trying to take us past the battles of 1968. That's trying to rise above. Barack Obama's message, you listen to his words, he is looking forward because we're in the 21st century. This ain't 1968. Yes. It's not Jane Fonda against John Wayne anymore.
But you know the Republicans are going to tear him down. Pat Buchanan is right.
I must say, David, and I'm serious here, I think it's unfortunate that you're justifying the former president of the United States going out there and starting an ideological war with racial overtones simply because the big, bad, mean, right-wing conspiracy is going to eat Hillary up this summer to vote for him. And here's Bill Clinton fighting the right-wing Republicans.
I think he's certainly doing that. Was he consciously trying to divide it along the lines of race? I can't read into the guy's mind, Joe, so I don't know. But he is trying to, defend his wife and protect her against the consequences of a bad loss down here.
Okay, Pat. Okay, so let's just say, just for argument's sake, that Bill Clinton is not doing this and not trying to be subtle as a son of the South to push certain buttons, as Jim Clyburn said he may be doing.
Right.
You just said something again. I find it fascinating. You said Bill Clinton is just trying to protect his wife. We had Mike Barnicle on earlier this morning saying that Bill Clinton was out there trying to protect his wife. Maureen Dowd wrote earlier this week about the fact that Hillary Clinton, this great feminist, is now being protected by her hubby. Have they figured out after New Hampshire that it's not such a bad thing for the man of the family to go out and protect the damsel in distress?
Well, she's not a damsel in distress. She is a candidate for president and a tough customer, but he's her husband.
Actually, Pat, you're just making my point.
Well, he loves her. He loves her.
I think the point.
He wants the Clinton restoration. He loves her. It's her last chance to return to the White House. Their dreams have been set upon this. He sees his wife beaten or about to be beaten up in New Hampshire. So he comes out fighting like a husband does. I think this is a natural, normal thing for a husband to do whose wife's in the fight of her life and seems to be slipping. Now, let me talk about...
Did Dennis Thatcher do it?
She was tougher than Dennis Thatcher.
That is a serious question. That is a serious question. I wonder if, I don't know if Golda Meir was married. Did Golda Meir's husband go out and defend her? Did Dennis Thatcher go out and defend Hillary?
It's not a question of Joe. It's not a question of
Joe, let me tell you the difference. Margaret Thatcher took over the party. Golda Meir took over the party. Hillary Clinton was the spouse of the President of the United States. He was in there first. He is a major national, international figure. He's an extraordinary asset. I don't even know if Golda Meir was married. Dennis Thatcher carried the handbag.
To be honest with you, Pat, I don't either.
Look, my point, and I think the thing that Pat's getting to is I think it's a little misleading to suggest that it's all about protection. It's not. Bill Clinton has skills, and he knows how he can use his skills to help his wife, to energize his wife, to energize her campaign, and to get her victory. That's the bottom line, helping her get victory. It's not a matter of protecting her. Hillary can defend herself. It's about helping her.
Yes.
Joe, can I make a point here? Look, there is a difference in what people say and how what they say is perceived based on the differences in people. Let's take Clyburn. He said Mike Huckabee tore the scab off when he brought up the battle flag.
I don't think Hillary Clinton can control what Bill Clinton says.
I think Bill Clinton is doing what comes naturally to Bill Clinton. He looks at this campaign in Iowa. He probably said, the insiders blew it. They don't know what they're doing. I know how to win these things. I've won them. I'm the only guy that has. I'm going out, and I'm going to win this thing for my wife, and she's not going to get beat. And I don't know that you can say anything Bill Clinton has said that is deliberately designed to stir up racial resentment or sentiment like that.
I don't want to hear that Hillary Clinton needs to be protected by a man. So, you know, the thing is, though, again, we don't know what Bill Clinton is thinking when he goes out and says that. But we do know this. Hillary Clinton can't control what he says on the campaign trail.
You got the last word, which is, I thought Pat was going to have it. But here's the deal. You're heading out now. You're going to get on a plane. You're going to go to New York. I look forward. You're going to be on all night tonight covering the return.
Clinton from the beginning. It has been Bill Clinton to the end.
I think
this is a referendum on Bill Clinton tonight, isn't it? Realizing that the former president was down and dirty. It was unbecoming. Jim Clyburn saying Bill Clinton damaged his reputation this past week. This could backfire in a big way, couldn't it? Hillary Clinton's 27%, doubling her vote total, when most of the polls showed that it would be anywhere from an 8 to a 10-point victory. Obviously, momentum sweeping Barack Obama over the top in a huge way. Again, doubling that vote in South Carolina with what at least some of us here on the panel are saying was a historic night. Let's go right now, though, to Nashville, Tennessee. Not quite as electric there in Music City, USA. And Mike Taibbi is there in what, Mike, I think you billed as a town hall meeting. I would guess it's not quite as electric as it was in South Carolina for Barack Obama's speech. What are you hearing there?
You know, you're right about that, Joe, but I got to tell you got to tip your hat to Senator Clinton, because she got thumped today, as you say, doubled, really a thumping, no other way to look at it. And yet she came here and she's essentially gave her entire stump speech, maybe about 10 minutes shorter than the one we've heard for several days. And now she's doing, as she often does in these town hall meetings in the round, accepting questions from all the way around 360 degrees. I think the question she just dealt with is, what would you call your husband when you become president? Will he be first man, first mate, first laddie, whatever it is? She's getting some laughs here. She's got about 3,000 people in here in this gymnasium at Tennessee.
His base in 2004, and it worked, and they suggested that was the campaign they were going to run this time. Does this work now in the era of Barack Obama?
I think it does, and we're going to find out, as we've been talking all night, whether it works on February 5th. If it works on February 5th, it is all over in my judgment. And I think I would make her the front runner, and if I were in Vegas, I'll bet the odds will.
And you'd still be betting on her right now.
Oh, I'd bet on her right now. And the Clintons are much smarter, and they're playing a better game than Obama. I don't know why he skipped Michigan and Florida, because I'll tell you, you mentioned the delegates. You know, in the Taft-Eisenhower race in '52, the battle over seating whose Texas delegation decided the nomination. And when Taft's guys weren't seated, he was gone. Michigan and Florida, I mean, she won Michigan, and uncommitted, I think, beat Obama, didn't it? And she won that. And they would not be talking about Florida every time they open their mouth tonight unless they know something we don't know. And 400,000 votes have already been cast. My guess is that in Georgia you'll find Obama doing better than he does in Florida. But I'll tell you, next week I would look for Hillary Rodham Clinton to win an awful lot of states, and I would say to win 55 to 60% of the delegates.
Talking about himself, says early on to Florida. Margaret Carlson, once again, the Clinton campaign, bulls in a china shop. They have offended African Americans this past week. Now, who are they offending? The Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Wait a second, though. This happened last week. A year ago, everybody decided in Nevada there would be caucuses. Where? In casinos. The second they didn't get the endorsement they wanted, they sued the Democratic Party.
Suddenly,
they are at war against African Americans, and now they're at war against the Democratic Party. You know what they call this when Republicans do it, Pat Buchanan? Dirty tricks. And you know what makes me sad? Bill Clinton doesn't like this young man, as he calls him, even though he was older.
The reason I think she's the most electable Democrat has nothing to do with race or gender. It is that they have systematically polarized the country. The right-wing Republican faction has. They first took over the Republican Party, and then they performed reverse plastic surgery on all the Democrats, right? Starting with President Carter in 1980, really starting in the late 70s. And it worked for them every single time except with me.